everything we did progressively, I thought that was the best, the most important, the most impactful thing. And then we went to the next thing, and they were so disparate, right? Like we went to see, you know, Kisufim, and it's like it was a freaking war zone, right? Like it was like nuts. Still smell, right? That was the one. It still smells of dead body in that house, like, you know. And then we went to Hostage Square, and it was like it's the other end of the spectrum. Like these people don't even know like where their family, what's going on, and then we went and there's a barbecue, and you see these people who are giving their lives, like their friends are dying, like next to them, they're giving their lives, and they're like everyone said. I mean, I'm just repeating the words that everyone just said, but they're so happy to be going into God. Like I made a joke to someone that if I get a paper cut at work, I don't want to go back to work. This kid showed us the bullet wound. He lifted up, he had a chunk of his body taken out of it, and he's gonna be walking in 2 weeks, and he's going back into Gaza. And I'm like, I got a paper cut. Nah, I'm done.
It was probably only about 7 years ago where I was in yeshiva. We went to Poland, and it's not so far after that you come to Israel and you see something like this going on. And what I hear from like a lot of people my age is that this is my generation's Holocaust. You're just now packing for this trip. Silly me. I packed 3 baseball hats, and I landed, and I'm just like, what am I doing? Like, I don't need any baseball hats. I didn't unpack them. I left them in my bag, and I just felt proud to be a Jew.
The Kisufim place, the Moshav, right? He held the door. He says to me, yeah, because his money's going to go to. So I go over back there and hit $80, $420. A cousin gave me 80. So he says to me, I need lo yishtamesh b'zeh. I said, yes. He could have taken it, gone to the restaurant with it. But you understand, I got away with seeing these people who are in the middle of a war, and these children today.
One trepidation I had about going is when I do bereavement weekends or something like that, the number one topic obviously is the loss. The second topic is usually the well-meaning but inept and sometimes hurtful things people say to somebody. And I had a little bit of a trepidation whether there would be those moments when people try to say something or with good intention, but that might injure the people more. And I have to say the exact opposite was the case. I am so impressed with all of you. You all knew what to do. First of all, your guts to just go up to total strangers and talk. You know, I was taking medication. You know, and you guys just walked up to people who don't like you, Sherry, or nothing, and you were so perfect. You didn't try to offer solutions. You didn't try to cheer them up. You just connected and related with them.
You said it. I said something's different when you're here. Something's different. Something different happens to the people because I don't know. I don't understand how they feel that way. And I consider myself pretty Sioni. I'm here all the time. I made Aliyah. But feeling it is different. And Rabbi Trump said it's something, an electric current that runs through everybody. And I thought that was exactly what it is, and I just want to say that Bezrat Hashem, we should come back in good times. We should all come back. We should all be here. We should all tell everybody we know that if they can, they should come, because it's the only thing you could do. It's the only thing you do is be here and be supported and be part of Am Yisrael in Eretz Yisrael. Thank you so much.
And I think one of the most memorable things about being here, aside from meeting everyone, because I didn't know a lot of you coming into this, and it's been really lovely getting to know each and every one of you in Bobby. Meeting the Chaylim and forming a connection with them was really, really special. From Tel Shomer, meeting the injured soldier and their family and how gracious they were to us. It was really unbelievable. And the injury, I didn't realize how badly injured he was until they showed us a picture of what he looked like when he first came to the hospital. It was really bad, and he's got a long way to go, but he will do it. And I think coming for the chizuk was really, really nice, and they appreciated it. He and his parents and sister. That was very special. And then
and when we met the injured soldier at Safa Rofe, I mean, the first one we met was a lead soldier, part of Yahweh, which they're involved in. They kind of go first, make sure there's no booby traps, things like that. And even when we first kind of, as we approached him from afar, just looked at his, countenance, his like kind of facial expressions, very relaxed, kind of pleasant demeanor, as he has a huge cast on his leg. We spoke to him for 10-20 minutes or so, and very, very positive the whole time. And we kind of pushed him a little bit on the nature of his injury. We seemed like he had pretty significant shots to his knee. At that point, he couldn't flex or extend his foot. I think there's lack of sensory input as well. You couldn't feel his leg as well, but he's still very, very optimistic that he would go back and fight, which is a sentiment I heard echoed by a lot of injured soldiers. They weren't worried about, how am I going to heal long term? It's when can I heal to go back and help my brothers fight. But even again, the soldier who got shot in his knee, very never negative, always kind of upbeat, positive, looking at the positives, kind of focusing more on the future, what he can do for the nation, for Am Yisrael. And kind of, when I think about myself, living in the 5 towns and kind of just the daily grind of going to work and kids, whatever, I find, at least for myself, I'm kind of very I don't want to say selfish, but perhaps most of my thoughts have to do with what can I do for myself, how can I help myself out, and as we meet the soldiers, every one of them has the polar opposites, like a 180 where they're smart, they know they're at risk in these wars, and they feel very privileged to be fighting that. It's a very much giving mentality, and I think that's one thing that I'm going to try to internalize more.
We as Jews, as a community, need to stand up, and this was what with anything if we have to accomplish anything at these trips and these missions, it's a call to not to arms, it's a call to action. We need to get up and we need to do something, and I think we as need to do that and sit in a room and brainstorm and start it.
And one thing, so many things stood out, but I'll stick with something that happened the first day because it stuck with me and it really affected me. And it was when we went to chizuk and Ronnie was showing us around and telling us about how crazy that day was and what his entire day was like. 12 out killing 2 terrorists and being in a shelter the entire day with his family and his 4 daughters and holding the door. And knowing that 2 terrorists are sitting in his kitchen, which was 2 steps away from his mamad. And then thank God the Israeli army came and shot them and saved them. And he took his family to a bus. And what would we do? We would get on that freaking bus with our family and run away. And he said, no, I have to go back and protect my kibbutz, and I have to go back and find more terrorists. And he sent his family on their way after the most harrowing day of his life, and he continued to fight for Eretz Yisrael. And that, to me, was just mind-boggling that everybody we met has put Eretz Yisrael, the Medinat Yisrael, before themselves and their family. I can never forget something like that. Me, come say that.
From the first moment of being here, I just felt like people have been asking me for 2 months, are you okay? And I just don't always answer. I'm not okay. But I'm okay that I'm not okay. That's okay. But one thing I definitely felt is that I really do love Am Yisrael. I really do love the Jewish people. And seeing everybody be so selfless in so many different ways, in so many different times, whether it was during the attacks or after the attacks, getting all together. There's this theme that just kept showing up. Just thinking about the next person. Nobody was thinking about themselves. This girl at the Rainian Festival who just stayed to help people who were injured. She was a bartender. And her best friend was there. And she showed me a video, and this is my last video of my friend, and she's standing there over a stretcher trying to take care of somebody. And she couldn't save herself because she stayed to help other people. And you just kept hearing that. Someone runs out of his house to go save the old lady, and then he gets shot. There's so much selflessness, and I just think my generation, my next generation, to my son, I hope the sense of entitlement will subside. And we can bring back some more of this selflessness.
This boy was so dedicated to the state of Israel that his whole being was for the state of Israel. And then his father put on his uniform, put on the boy's uniform. And that's how he said to his son.
The same way that they're looking at this as their War of Independence, or the Second War of Independence, that's our job too. A mission isn't a mission unless you take it home with you and actually do something about it. So if you're gonna just go to a mission and experience these things, and they're deep and they're introspective, and you got something out of it, that's wonderful. But if you can't take that and actually do something about it as a call to action, it's somewhat, over time, it'll become meaningless.
There's a lot of heroes, the heroes in Kisufim, heroes here, heroes there. I hope never to have to go into my house, grab my Glock 19 and protect my family in a closet, to be that type of hero. But the heroes that I think I can walk away with were the volunteers, the ones that took off from work, that they left their jobs, those heroes, I see that I can be that hero tomorrow. I can dig a little deeper in my checkbook, write a little bit of bigger check, guys who are not working now, maybe just take off from work, find out what I can do when I get home from work, with a partner or this or that. I have to find out and process and make some phone calls. But that's the hero that I can walk away with, aside from all the stories and the cool stuff that we can tell our friends, but that's what I can personally walk away with and become that type of hero back in New York. Thank you very much.
The strength of being in Israel is seeing the traumatic things that we have seen in the past few days. I don't think any one of us could have expected what it would be like our experience, and also the days ending in hopeful ways.
Visiting the wounded in the hospital yesterday, they all were smiling. The guys were, did you see these guys smiling?
Yes.
And a bullet went through his. So I was curious as to, I'm trying not to cry, and these guys, we're giving them chizuk, they're giving this to us.
Thinking on the bus, what is my most standout experience, and what did I get most? I've been thinking about that in the last day, and I can't decide whether it's the fact that the Chayalim are out there not just for people that are living here, but for all of Klal Yisrael, for all of us Jews all over the world, including myself in New York, and my own children and my husband, or the mothers that are with their kids that don't have their husbands at home, or the parents that are missing and losing their children. I don't know what my standout is. It's really, you said it, you need to process it, and we're going to process it.
But I will share this one experience, right? The theme has sort of been the Afela, the Ora. That's what Rabbi Trump has tried doing from the first day. So one of the soldiers who I met last night, I was talking to him. I said, "So have you been in and out of Gaza?" He said, "Well, no, actually, on October 7th, I was shot twice, and so it took me a month to recuperate before I was able to go in." And like, look at when I was shot twice. What happened? He said, "I was a bartender at Nova, and I was shot twice, and then it took me a month." And I said, "So you had certain incentive to go?" And he says, "Yes. On October 7th, I was running away from the terrorists, and when I went into Gaza, I was chasing the terrorists." And that encapsulates for me in the simplest way the whole concept of Fela Ora, just in this one person. And I was amazed in speaking to him.
One thing that's so obvious to me is that no matter how many news sites I read and WhatsApp chats that I'm in to try to keep up with everything happening in Israel, there's absolutely no comparison between actually being here and meeting all the people that are on the front lines in every way, in terms of just feeling the tsar of Am Yisrael and feeling connected to what's happening here. And then second, I was really blown away yesterday from the incredible sense of responsibility to Am Yisrael and self-sacrifice from all the people that we met at the hospital in Nir Oz, the incredible people that were killed at the Nova Music Festival, that young man who, instead of just focusing on saving himself, would be such a natural tendency, was trying to save other people and ended up getting killed. The incredible security officer in Re'im, who had the presence of mind to save his family and then ultimately was able to save so many people in the community and get them evacuated, and now feels this tremendous sense to rebuild what was destroyed by the Hamas terrorists. To the incredible people of Naveh, the families who were relocated from Gush Katif, who understand their responsibility to live on the front lines and build a Torah community. Just every single experience was just, one was more incredible than the next. And I appreciate so much being able to share it with all of you, to be reconnected with everyone in the community that Chani and I have not had as much of a chance to spend time with as we have in the many, many years before. So thank you again, Rabbi Trump, and thank you to everybody.
And I want to recognize our Rav. Man, I've said this before, and I continue to say it. You know, there are a few things in life that exceed your expectations, and our Rav constantly exceeds our expectations, no matter how much we expect. I can't imagine doing this trip without him. It's just incredible what we've seen, and I can't even imagine the work that you and Rabbi Taylor and all the rest of the people here with the OU put into this. It's almost impossible. The logistics are almost impossible. So I just want to give a tremendous hakara satov